Hey guys, it's Tara.
It's Mackenzie, and welcome back to
Talk
Talk More
More
Print.
Print. In
For
today's
today's episode, we are joined with the founders of Sheet for Brains. We have Jessica DeCola. She is the Director of Marketing Communications and E-commerce at GPA. We have John Bailey, CEO of Precision Proco. We have Chris Min, founder of Digital Inc. And finally, we have David Rosendahl, co-founder and president of Mindfire.
I am Tara. I am a student at Ferris State right now. I'm going to my senior year. I am currently on my last week of my internship at Gilson Graphics.
Oh, cool. Do you know Patrick there? What's his last name? With a K? Starts with a K?
Pat Clarecki at Ferris.
Yeah.
Yes, he just
Okay.
retired this year.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
Cool.
Well, then I'll go. I'm Mackenzie. I'm about to start my last semester at Ferris. I am almost to the finish line. I actually just finished on Friday my internship at EPI Marketing Services. And that was pretty cool. But I would love to know, like, how you guys got She for Brains started.
Chosen one.
No, Johnny's good. Johnny's the catalyst.
No, that's not fair to put me in that trap.
Wow, David, you tell the story.
Okay, I'll tell the story. So, guys, my memory is so bad. Which event was that at, Johnny? John?
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis, okay. So, in Indianapolis at D-Scoop, John went on stage as part of passing the torch of the chairman of the board responsibilities at D-Scoop to the next person in line. And in doing so, he shared really from his heart. And I didn't know then, but that's pretty much how John does everything. And when he went on stage, he told a few stories, including sharing how, there had been times when he attended D-Scoop where he just didn't feel right. He didn't enjoy being there, or his mind was elsewhere because of the challenges that he was facing at work and the things that he was going through. He talked about losing a major client and kind of these things that I think all of us think about or have in our minds, especially as business owners, but certainly as business leaders. We're all, thinking about the things that are often going wrong in our businesses. But the way he did it and the way he shared so vulnerably and kind of off the cuff, extemporaneously, really, really touched me deeply, because I was thinking very much the same thing. And what hit me there in the moment was, typically when we go to these events, ladies, I don't know how many you've been to, but often, you'll see somebody in the elevator or in the hall or at a booth, and it's usually like, hey, how you doing, Jess? And Jess will say, I'm great, everything's good. How's business, Dave? And I'm like, oh, fantastic, everything's going well. When the truth is, it's not. Usually things are going haywire at work. Things are crazy at home. I've got 4 kids. Everybody here has kids. All of the members of the group here. And, not only the pressures of work, but also the pressures of life and the challenge that it is to, be a person in business and to try to lead and be a part of a family and do both of those things well is so hard. And so when John shared that from stage, it really touched me. And afterwards, I mentioned to him, hey, that's something we got to do more of. We got to talk more about that. And coincidentally, I believe Jess and Chris shortly thereafter did the same thing and mentioned to him that it really touched them. And that was the driver behind us starting to think about, should we do something about this that we all feel is tugging at us? And so, John, I think you were the one that kind of triangulated then from there the interest from the rest of us. Is that right?
Yeah, so obviously we all talked independently, and then I found out that you 3 guys already knew each other very well and had done a session as well on sustainability in business and things. And you know me now. I'm a fan of getting shit done, and the things I like to do are the things that are easy to do, easy not to do. So if someone says we should do something and I think it's a good idea, I'm always going to do it, right? So we gathered the troops. We had a quick call. I think it was going to be a quick call. And I remember I was parked up in a service station on the A19 in a rainy England, and we all got on the call to see whether we could be vulnerable and talk about our challenges in front of each other and whether we felt there was a connection. And the 20-minute phone call turned into a 2-hour 2 hour session where we discovered that I actually do quite like therapy, even though I disagreed at the time about therapy. But yeah, so that was a catalyst, and here we are.
That's super cool. I know this was something that me and Tara were both there at your kind of handoff speech in Indy, and that being our first kind of experience to such a broad congregation almost of the top leaders in the industry for both of us. I mean, that wasn't necessarily new, but it was refreshing to hear.
I would say, ladies, you know, Mackenzie and Tara, that's fairly uncommon in work or in our industry or in work in general. I'm glad to hear that, you know, that your generation, the next generation after me, and some of us here on the call. Maybe after Jess. That the next generation, though, that you're seeing it more normalized, because that's one of the things that we're trying to do. Like John was saying initially, Jess and I were talking about our therapists and how we go to therapy once a week, at least once a week. And John was like, "What? Therapy?" And so that's part of what we're trying to do, is normalize these kinds of conversations in the midst of work.
We established that actually I did have therapy. I just called it a mindset coach, but it was the same thing.
No, that's super cool. Because I mean, especially for, like you said, in our generation, I feel like that's a lot more talked about. I mean,
Definitely.
kids our age will talk about that stuff. Like, it's like, I'll talk to anybody about it. Like, that's no problem for me. And Tara's done the same. So, but like you said, there wasn't something that you heard from people who were in such high positions.
It's frowned upon. When we were coming through the ranks at your age, going into this industry, you weren't allowed to talk about stuff like this. It was frowned upon. You were seen as being a difficult employee, a moaner. You know, you were told to knuckle down, man up, get on with it. Yeah, that was just the way it was, and that's fine. And at the time, you don't think much of it, but when you look back and you realise, and actually when you start to open up, we were quite shocked by the amount of people who've reached out to us about some really pretty amazing stuff. We decided in that one call on the lay-by, right at the very start, we figured this out right in that very first call, that all we want to do is help the one. We don't care if we have 1 million followers or 1 follower. We don't care if it's no likes. We're not bothered. We just want one person to get to be better and to stop doing something silly, or to go and get help, or to reach out. If one person did, we said it would have been a success. And honestly, we've had so many. We get so many calls, so many contacts, and then we also get so many people who aren't even necessarily who you wouldn't think are linked to the group or like the group or comment, but we hear stories about how somebody joined a call and went to dinner with a family member who had the same thing, who then connected them, and then they spoke. And so our reach is getting a lot bigger, and it's, you know, we're reaching more than the one. But I think what's really interesting about what you just said there, and what I love about it, I hadn't really thought about this before. What I love about the fact that you say it's quite common for you guys to talk and you're comfortable talking like that. When you're talking like that to people of our age or my age in our industry, they're not going to understand the value of it. And that's the other job we've got to do here, is to make them understand this is fantastic. This is not a negative. This is not bad to have people coming into our industry like and talking like that. They need to understand this is how much they can learn from you. You know, I'm a massive ambassador of the academia program and what you guys do. You know that. We talk about it. This is why, because how much can we learn, guys, from that kind of thing? And that's what we have to try and amplify as well.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I agree that it is so important. And it's very interesting as somebody from our generation, because a lot of us were raised by people who had the mentality of, no, you need to stick it out. No, it's not important, whatever. And it's like, we are not only learning ourselves that it can be more normalized, but we're also showing them that it can be normalized.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why we've got so much to learn, and why we have to open up and work all, together on it. So it's fantastic.
Mackenzie and Tara, I have a question for each of you. Mackenzie, if you can go first, and then Tara second. Where did you learn, or where did you adopt this philosophy or comfort level with talking about this openly? How did that happen for you?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I think there's a couple layers to it. Um, my mom has struggled with anxiety for the majority of my life, and
Mm,
that was always a normal conversation.
mm,
And so then when I had like my anxiety issues, I brought
mm,
that up to her, and it was a lot more, oh, let's figure out how we can do better about this.
mm,
So I think that had a lot of the foundation and the ability to openly talk about it, I think was a lot from her. Um, but also I did therapy for a little while, so being comfortable to talk about it with other people, I think that also helped a lot. So I think just kind of a mix of a few different things. Also, like I have such great friends who are not going to judge me for anything that I do. So if we talk about, hey, not having a great day, have a little bit of patience with me. I mean, Tara's had that talk with me multiple times. So I think that also build your circle, I think also helps a lot too.
And Tara, what about you?
Yeah, for sure. Mine was definitely, I'm not gonna lie, more of a recent thing.
Mm-hmm.
High school kind of hit, and all my friends are starting to talk about, like, hey, I'm going to therapy, I'm counseling, I'm on medication. And it's like, well, why? And
Mm,
then they kind of explain some of their symptoms, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that kind of sounds like me. And then, kind of even more is like, not to sound like someone from my generation, but TikTok spreading the word of like, these are my symptoms, these are things to watch for. If this sounds like you, maybe go talk to your doctor. And it was a great like learning tool of like, yeah, it's kind of just you need to kind of realize that these symptoms aren't normal for a lot of people,
Hmm.
and just going and asking questions.
that's
It's funny
beautiful.
your story about that when you talk about friendship groups and stuff, because or I'll talk about myself rather than other people. I don't have that luxury because my friends think it's ridiculous, right? So I go into conversations with my friends or my family, not my direct family, because they get it. You know, some of them, right? They've been brought up in that way.
Yeah.
But my brothers or whatever, and they'll come and tell a story. Oh, I've got this employee. He's phoned in. He says he's got mental health issues, and they literally like don't get it. And I have so many debates since I met this crew. I have so many debates and discussions with my friends and my family groups where I'm the one saying you just don't get it. And so that's why this group is really important, because we all got on that call, and within a second we knew we were in. We didn't there was no way out from Sheet for Brains
Yeah.
after 5 minutes of that call, because we just knew we were intrinsically linked on this. So it's interesting that.
John, your story reminds me of another. I don't think I've even shared it with the whole group here. There's a client that I have here at McKinsey that knows what we're doing, and even before we pulled together this group, knew that I was a mental health advocate and would talk openly about therapy and the value of mental health, and he would poo-poo it, or he still does poo-poo it. It's a waste of time. You shouldn't be doing it. You need to be doing more work for me. All these things like, don't waste your time in therapy. Just man up. Stop being a wuss. Kind of that response. And I happened to be in the car with him about 2 weeks ago on the way to a meeting with a client, one of his clients, and he's waiting for a phone call coming in like 3 or 4 minutes, and all of a sudden he starts grabbing his chest, and he's like, "Oh," making all these utterances and stuff. And I'm like, "Dude, what's going on?" He's like, I just hate these calls. I just don't like doing them, and my body tenses up, and my chest feels all tight, and my blood pressure goes up, and I start sweating, and oh man, I just hate this feeling. I just feel like I'm on edge all the time. I'm like, dude, do you know what you're describing? He's like, yeah, I do, but I don't want to admit it. I don't tell anybody. I don't want anybody to know. I'm like, this is why we're doing what we're doing. You shouldn't do this alone.
No. It was before I got to college that I kind of went through my whole journey. And so it's kind of been really, I wouldn't say fun, but like, because it's not a great time. But being able to like help our other friends of go on their own journey has just been super, because I can be like, I've been through it. We like, I know exactly what you're feeling. It's okay to feel that way, especially in college when life's super stressful and our schedules are literally insane. It's a lot to keep up with. So that also being able to just talk with other people about it has been really, really nice.
It's the right word to use sometimes. The fun thing. It's funny how you just explained it, because that's what we believe we need to bring to it with Sheet for Brains. Is we're doing it in a way that is humorous, is taking the hard conversations and making them normalized, and having a bit of a joke about some of it, and having a bit of a being able to talk about the stuff no one wants to talk to, but also then being able to hone down really serious and really get to the bottom of it. I think it's a fine balance between being able to do that and really making people feel comfortable that you're not laughing at them, you're actually making fun of the shared experience, because you all realize it sounds strange, but actually it's a real thing. So I think it is the right word to use, I think.
I think to break down that stigma, you need to be approachable. It can't be dead serious all the time, because that scares people. This around mental health and wellness and anxiety and stress and all of these things that we talk about and especially in our print industry. I mean, it is 77% men of a certain age. It just is. And they don't talk about shit. And so it is so important for us to make sure that this group, this space is approachable and it feels comfortable for people to have lighthearted conversations, but also like really kind of zone in on the fact that these are serious issues. These are serious things.
We got an amazing session lined up. I don't know the exact date, but Mr. Min does, so he can give us some detail. We got we talked in our very first session about PTSD. I've joked for years, right? Seriously, I've joked for years. I have got PTSD. You said today, I got PTSD off COVID. I got PTSD off a cyber attack. And you talk about COVID to me, I cannot not talk about how COVID happens to my business without crying. I can't. As soon as I start talking about how I told the staff to go home and I had no idea what was going to go on, and the world literally for me ended, I cannot talk about that without getting upset. And so we're on the first session with Glenn Pacquiao, and he starts talking about PTSD in business. And I'm like, I'm not crazy, man. This is like a real thing. I'm not crazy. But Chris, we got a great session coming up, right?
Yeah, we have 26th of August. Basically, what we want to do, guys, is bring awareness to PTSD, and actually, it's not just something that people in the military suffer from, right? You know, it's something that, as John just said, running a business, especially in the world of print, is something that we can all suffer with without even realizing. So it's get a bit more awareness out there that it's okay to show those symptoms and actually then go for PTSD resources to help you deal with it. And I think if we're all honest, we all have, but we don't actually know it. And I remember that session that John mentions there, where he said, you know, I think it was yes, it was Glenn Packing, wasn't it? And actually, Glenn said to John, that's a symptom of PTSD. Now, yeah, we want to raise awareness of that. So just going back to what Jess said as well, she mentioned about the percentage of male workers within the print industry. When we set Sheet for Brains up, we actually set it up with pillars for subject matter that we're going to bring to the industry. And mental health and wellness obviously is one of those, but there's so many other things that we need to address within the industry. And one of those could be working mums. You know, Jess, she is a mum, as Dave alluded to, we will have kids. It's hard in a male-dominated industry sometimes to get on and have that equality, and that's something as well that we're trying to bring. So we're not just trying to help the one in the sense of depression, mental health, PTSD, anxiety, but we're also trying to help them with the old dude that needs to let go of his business now. He's done the hard graft. He needs to take the money and go.
All right.
More, man. Tell me more. Where do I sign up?
But it's a serious issue because it's an actual mindset of being able to let go, and we've got all these things we have to deal with. So, yeah, there's a plethora of things we've got to be able to resource. And I think the only other thing for me that I would just like to show is that, you know, we're not health professionals, we're not experts, we're passionate about our industry, which is the best industry in the world. But we're facilitators, and what we aim to do is bring resources in and then give them to the good men and women of the print industry. So we just need to make that clear, because we do get asked for advice sometimes, and it's quite worrying when you're getting asked for parent advice at a D-Scoop event, and they're asking the four of us who probably need help.
I did not do it all right. I'm not the person to ask that question.
So, yeah. I don't have kids anymore, I have adults, so I can't comment.
You still raised kids, like you still are parents.
He's done a good job. He's done a very good job. He's done a very good job. But I think, and like the kids is a big part of what Dave mentioned it earlier on in the session. But we all want to take responsibility for the next generations. And I feel we are. I think John's done a great job. He questions the status quo. Jess is a very strong female leader as well, and Dave. I mean, I've seen some amazing parenting hacks from Dave. He's got 4 kids. Deals with it on his own, and he documents it as well. It's a great watch.
I need the proof, man.
It's a role model, man. So yeah, it's.
You know what? On that, remember we had a fantastic suggestion from Deborah Korn. Actually, you guys know Deborah Korn obviously very well.
Mm-hmm.
Deborah came and saw us at these group we were talking to, and she came up with a great idea about mentoring kids with no dad, with no father figures, and actually recommended that the 3 of us actually get involved in a charity she knows to help mentor and give them a father figure kind of to role models, which was very
nice for me, man. I grew up without a father figure. I know you did too, John, right?
Yeah, it's a fantastic idea, yeah.
I did too.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I think John could be your father figure. How's that?
A British father, I could get behind that. Well, I do have to know, how'd you guys come up with Sheet for Brains?
Good question.
Part of a brainstorming session. I think we probably had like 24 things we threw up at the wall, and that one just stuck.
It's
Just how
actually,
to play on paper, right? But
Yep.
so many years ago, Precision Proco, my business, did a campaign called Know Your Sheet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about Know Your Sheet, and it caused a little bit of controversy. Some people didn't like it, some people did. But I'm all for not being in the middle ground. Nothing good happens in the middle, right? So there's no point being in the middle. So that was in the back of my mind, and then when we were talking about it, we ended up dropping the word sheet in there, and then we ended up with Sheet for Brains. And it's kind of stuck. Felt a bit weird at the start, didn't it? We weren't sure whether it was going to work, and then actually now it's working pretty good. Well, you tell us, is it working pretty good?
I think it's pretty good.
I yes.
You know what I notice is that, and I've told the team this, like if I'm out on the street or on a plane or in an airport, I see people looking, and not everybody, but many will ask, hey, what is that? What does that mean?
When you've got the t-shirt on and stuff.
Right, when the t-shirt's on, exactly.
I thought you just meant normally when you're walking
Oh,
around.
no, not at all. They run the other way.
Sometimes that happens too.
Yeah, no, when I have the t-shirt on, thanks for the clarification, John. And so it sparks that conversation, right? It gives us an opportunity to be able to say, well, I'm glad you asked, because, and then, tell them kind of what the story is. So it works to get attention, for sure.
That was the first thing, I think the first thing that we saw when you walked in to Scoop Long Beach. It was the first thing we saw, and we're like, wait, what is this?
Yeah.
Because at that point, we weren't completely aware. And so we all kind of stopped and we're like, well, what is this? It definitely grabs your attention.
Good. Because it's a strange one, right? Because everyone else in the showcase has got something to show, got something to say, got some technology, something, and this is kind of just an open forum, and that was the idea. And D-Scoop, was so good to us and gave us that area and that ability to showcase what we're doing, and they're big advocates of what we're trying to do, and we're hoping we're actually going to be meeting with them soon, in the next month or so, to talk to them about our involvement moving forward in these Scoop events, and whether we can have more presence. And obviously that we did the session as well. We did but you guys couldn't make it because you're your academia program was running alongside.
Yep.
We're making a big play, by the way. So when you speak to Mike Ferrari, and hope he listens to this, we're getting together. We're making a big play for the academia program to be able to join some of the SFP sessions next year.
Okay,
Because we
good.
We were
Good.
all very disappointed this year. I'm not gonna lie. We were like, we wanted to go so bad, and we were like, well, it's at the same time.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, it followed that academia session that I did as well, didn't it? The other one about.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're really making a play to see if it can be part of your academia program, and we're going to try and get multiple sessions going this year.
That would be awesome.
Tara and Mackenzie, I have another question for you each. I'm doing the math. You're probably 30 years younger than I am. And so those 3 decades, I know it sounds like a lot, even more for John. Imagine how he feels right now.
3 years apart.
I know, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
3 years, but oh so far apart.
I know, but those decades, ladies, those 3 decades, that's a lot of time in between, our 2 generations here. So what would your number one piece of advice be to us as a group around how we can reach and communicate effectively with your cohort? Tara, you first.
Oh gosh.
These are great questions.
Like,
Why aren't
these
you
are
in
great
charge of this?
questions. I don't know. I mean, I know social media is like a huge thing for us. And just honestly being open and communicating open door policies. A lot of times our generation, I think, is scared of people in higher positions or who are older than us. But coming down to their level and just having a conversation with them like they're just anyone, like you do care about them. And obviously the best way to, I think, connect on a large scale is just through social media and spreading
meet
awareness
you where
that
you
way.
are on the channels that you're in. Interesting.
It's very good of you guys to volunteer to do our social media.
It is very kind of you. Very kind.
Record, very kind of you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Hey, he's on to me there. Mackenzie, what about you? What would you say your number one piece of advice would be for us to engage your age group?
I definitely agree with meet us where we are.
Okay.
That is very smart. I think, honestly, the biggest thing is don't make it feel like a lecture. Because the second it feels like a lecture, we're gone. We're gone. So I also, another brand that, I would also look at the brands that are mental health advocates that are engaged by our age group too. I know if you've ever heard of the Happiness Project, they're huge mental health advocates and they are very popular, and they do just fun little tips of the week. It's not serious. They don't take it very seriously. So I think if you kind of just keep it very lighthearted, but also still getting your point across, I think is the biggest thing that you can do.
Okay.
Very helpful.
Thank you.
We've had to do that with our recruiting even, because we're going and we're talking to high schoolers and even their generation. It's kind of hard to keep their attention. So we have our presentation split up and we started doing games to try and break the ice, get people to re-engage and have a break and whatnot. So we've just been trying to find little things like that to do.
I think the other part of it too is keeping it the lighthearted and fun makes it seem less daunting when you're talking about things like how much school costs and how am I going to pick classes. We notice a lot of it when we're there of they're obviously scared. I was scared to go to college. That's a very daunting thing. You're moving away from home. It's a big change. So I think we've seen such success with keeping it so lighthearted and also being we literally say you can ask us anything.
Yeah, I think it's just a good barrier breaker also of when I was younger, I was scared of the college students. They're all grown up. They know this and they know that. When we are having fun and we're just playing games, they're like, oh, they're still like me. They like to have fun and they're not as scary as I think they are.
Yep.
Yeah, I found actually it was quite interesting at D-Scoop with the group that came. I can see the difference between the week. So like the few days, so it starts and I meet everybody at the start and it's very sensible, very serious. It's all kind of, everyone's quiet and then we're out that first night and I always make sure I'm out and I go drinking and go and see everybody. I spend most of my time talking to you guys and then the difference in the engagement the next day when I normally do that session about how I started and what I did, the difference in the engagement in that session is unbelievable because everyone was so, they knew I'm just some idiot from England and they're totally chilled about it. And so, and we just have a completely different level of conversation then because there's not this stigma that is some grey haired dude coming in. So I agree with you completely. You've got to try and break that down. It makes a huge difference. It's something actually thinking about it. What we need to do is, and it's something else to speak to Mike about. So we've got a job to do, guys. After this, we've got to speak to Mike about.
Burning so fast right now.
Making sure academia is in FS is going to be able to come to the Chief of Brain sessions and part of it. Two, making sure we get that first session. Everyone's going to be engaging with more of them and break that barrier down really nice and early because then it'll be even more. Everyone will get even more value out of it.
Can I ask one more question of you two? Is that okay?
That's fine. Go for it.
Welcome.
So I was a terrible student in high school and I had to use Cliff Notes. I assume you guys still know
Is
Cliff
that
Notes?
still
Is that still around? Whole thing?
I've heard of it, never used it.
You've heard of it? Yeah, okay.
Sure.
So basically they're like little cheat books that help you, learn whatever topic you're supposed to be learning.
Basically AI. It's old AI.
Right. So that's where I'm going, Tara and Mackenzie, is
Excel spreadsheets and all that sort of stuff, right?
if I had been a student, if I were a student now, I would dominate because of AI. And so I've got kind of a two-part question for you. Is one, how is your generation dealing with AI as it pertains to your schoolwork? And second, have either of you experimented with speaking to your AI about your mental health and where you stand in your head? Two-part question. Mackenzie, I want to hear from you first.
Okay, well, for the second question, no.
Okay.
I've never thought to do that before.
Okay.
Just because I have plenty of people that I chat with about it.
Okay.
And then the first question, what was the first question? I'm so sorry.
How are you viewing AI in your schoolwork?
Ooh. That's a good question.
Are you using it for everything? Nothing? Some things?
Yes, I use it for some things and I don't use it for other things. The creative aspects of we use the Adobe Suite for every single class that we do. The image generation or the file generation, I don't ever use any of that. But actually designing is one of my stress relievers. So that is kind of one of my things that kind of gets me out of my head of everything else that's going on, and I can just sit at a computer and do something fun. So I don't do any of that. It does in fact write a lot of my emails. Because I just put what I want to say, and I say, make this sound more professional. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, some of the wording aspects of it, a lot of my thoughts get jumbled in my brain and I need help organizing.
Okay.
But yeah, the creative stuff, not so much.
Okay. And what about you, Tara?
I'm also going to answer the second question first. No, I've not done that. Because again, kind of the same things. We have people to talk to, so it's not like my first thought, But AI is such a big topic right now. And I think that I use it a lot less than people would think that I do. And in school, yes, a lot of students do use it to do their work. I don't like to use it to use my work especially because people use it for writing, and writing has always been one of my strong suits. But I did find it interesting now that there's a lot of professors who are assigning projects, essays, homework where you have to write an essay, but you have to use AI and explain how you got the prompts that you did, how you got the responses. So it's been kind of interesting as it's a how to use AI instead of ignoring it.
Yeah.
And that's
Huge.
been pretty interesting. I also love using AI. When I do use it, I use it more as to search for my sources.
Okay.
I don't like trying to find them on Google.
Uh-huh.
It's just because you can spend so much time doing that.
Sure.
I can ask a bot to do that for me, and
Yep.
in 5 seconds, I'll have 10 different articles I can look through.
Yep.
And I can pick and choose. If I need more options, I can ask for more options. And that's been a very useful tool for me for school.
And Tara, what are you using? And then you, Mackenzie?
I use mostly ChatGPT during the school year, but for work, it's been a lot of Copilot.
Okay.
I use chat. Love
Okay.
chat.
I for those that know me, I summarize stuff at the end of meetings, and I got 4 little points of what you just said there that I want to chuck in. Firstly, Dave, question back to you from us. You said if you had AI now, you would smash. Would you, or is that because you're now 50 and you still be a little shit back as you were back then?
No, I would have back then because I was always looking for the most efficient way to get stuff done,
Right.
and felt
It
that.
wasn't a behavior thing or an attitude thing. It was just the ability to get the stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
You go to the Dewey Decimal System and look up the books in the library.
Right, that's true. I try and explain to the kids now about that, but I got a funny story for you very quickly about AI in schools, right? And I haven't told you guys this either. So my daughter Marcy is 17. So she had to put in a proposal for head girl or prefect, right? And you had to do a presentation. So she was saying, what do I do the presentation on? So I said, why don't you do it on AI? She said, I don't know anything about AI. I said, well, I do, and I can help you write the presentation, right? So I helped her write the presentation, but we used AI to write the presentation, and then it was all about using AI properly in schools and all this. So she did this. So she does this presentation. She gets head girl, right? So she gets the job, and she wins it. So she gets the headmaster rings her up. Can you come and see me? So she goes and sees you. She said, you used AI to do that presentation? Because yeah, I was supposed to. It was meant. I said it was AI. And he said, is this something you're really interested in, or did you just do it for your application? So because she didn't want to say my dad did it for the application, she went, oh no, I love it, I'm really into it. So he says, brilliant, you can be the school's AI champion now. And he made it. So she's now the school's AI champion. So
that's how life works.
Literally every week she's coming home, but I'm so annoyed with you, Dad. I can't write this about this. And just to go and educate all the kids, the younger kids on AI and stuff in all the classes.
Oh my gosh, I'd love that job. Let's switch jobs. I'll take her job. She'll take mine.
You just reminded me when you asked about it at school. And I'd use it for my emails to make me sound more cheerful.
Yep.
I use mine for.
It's my favorite thing. The vibe checker is what I like to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vibe checker, I like that.
Vibe.
What is one message that you guys hope that people carry with them after engaging with your work?
That they're not alone.
That it's okay to not be okay.
Love that.
That they educate others.
Mm-hmm.
Share the knowledge.
I'm thinking I love all those responses. I think it would be that there are some people who do care and care deeply.
Those are really good.
I like those.
Sometimes we have good ideas.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's
But sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Well, almost most of the time, JDC, good for you. But I think what's interesting with that is all of those answers are actually bang on. and they came pretty naturally. Because we care, we give a shit, and aside, that's what it's about, and that's all we can do in this thing. We're not experts, like we said before, but we genuinely speak for those three. They're just bloody good human beings who give a shit about other people and each other, and it's refreshing. And I bless every day, thank my blessings that what we put together, and I get to spend time with people like that. And the more that we can spread the way these guys behave and look after other people, the world will be a much better place. That's for sure.
Wow. And just so you guys know, bang on means right on.
We started a little translation dictionary.
Appreciate that.
John and Chris have like all of these things that they say, and Dave and I will text each other.
What the heck are they talking about? It sounds like
We're
English, but
Googling,
it's
and
not.
then it's like
I think we should share that offline with these guys, not on this call.
National group, there's cultural differences here.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's great. So I have a follow-up question then, because you guys are more experienced. How can leaders create cultures that promote wellness and resilience in their workplace or wherever they're going to be a leader?
I think it's by example. I think,
Yeah.
and we said this, I don't know who we were talking to not too long ago. I think if we as leaders can lead by example to share things that are hard to talk about, then it empowers your generation and even those who we have that we're leading within our organizations to be more open and transparent.
And be authentic, and be honest. Like like the guys on here, they were quite comfortable in saying I'm not okay with this, or I struggle with this, or that sometimes being bold and honest helps somebody else to be. And we learned that firsthand with this group. The first time we got together on our pilot session, and we said before this came out there were people within the D-Scoot community who went, actually, I struggle, I have dark thoughts. And of course that person then leaves that call feeling a little bit better because they can now share that they're struggling, you know what I mean? So I think the honesty is the biggest part, because you've got to set the example, but you've also got to be honest. And that comes as part of the example, being honest that you're not, it's okay to not be okay. Being honest that you're not always okay, that you're human, you see. So that, for me, that's a huge one, is honesty.
Me and Dave was trying to think about all the things we do with our teams that drive that kind of culture. I'm not sure there's one thing. I think there's I'm a fan of integrity. Do what you say you're going to do, and when you're going to do it with some element of humble to you, and just be real. And I think I don't believe there's any such thing as a hard conversation at work if you're honest. It's only when it creates a culture of politics and noise is when it's a problem. And I think if you, back to Jess's point, which is fundamentally the answer, is you gotta demonstrate that in everything that you do. Don't accept mediocrity and don't accept mid-ground. You got to be true. You got to be vulnerable. You got to not be afraid to say when you're struggling. You've got to be able to show your emotions, and you're not a robot. You've got to treat people with respect, and you've got to turn up and be present. Right? We talk about that. A lot of people over prep stuff. Over prep how they want to talk to their people, over prep how they turn up into meetings. I just don't do that. I just trust that the cavalry will arrive, and I just turn up and I'm just present, and then what happens. But you got to listen, and you got to be available, and you got to be available emotionally as well, and you got to be able to have tough conversations, but you got to be able to bring them back to the reality of the situation. I think if you do all those things and you spend time thinking about that and you understand the value of that, then you do create a culture where it is mutually, seen as a positive thing to look after each other and to have that respect and to actually build those relationships internally. So,
yeah, I couldn't say it any better, guys. I agree.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Silence.
that's fine.
No, I agree. Those are great answers.
Okay.
Which, by the way, just to jump in, is not always easy.
Yep.
So for the businesses that are looking at this that are thinking, wow, that sounds like obviously really ideal. I've got John soon at the beginning again about how it's got great. Right? It's always great. So just for the record, it's not always great. I don't get it right all the time, but I tell you what I do when I do this without that, no one can say I don't. When I get it wrong, I realise I've got it wrong, and I go and apologise that I've got it wrong. And I hold my hand up and say, do you know what, I fucked up there. That's not how I should have turned up. That's not what I should have said there. I'm sorry, I apologise. And that's the other part about it. So I don't get it right all the time. It's not perfect. It's not easy to create a culture that thrives on the back of people and has the right attitude. But but if you fundamentally give a shit and you know that is the right way to do it, people see that and people allow you to make those mistakes as long as you're vulnerable and honest and have integrity in your apology, I think.
Okay. Now that we have told you that we love to play a game, would you like...
I think we're out of time.
Oh.
It'll be quick, I promise. So, this is a game that we kind of came up based on your guys' name. It's either brains or BS.
Okay.
So, I'm going to say a statement, and you have to try and guess if it's brains, which means it's true, or if it's BS, which obviously is not true. I'm going to start off really easy, guys, okay?
Okay.
I'm sitting up now.
Gotta get ready.
Print is dead. I'd hope you keep your hands down.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy one. That is something we hear all the time.
We hear all the
Especially
time.
People.
Fake news.
Yeah, it's crazy how often we hear it.
The only people that think it's dead are the ones that won't change.
And the ones that should be.
Love that.
All right, next one. We're gonna go with unaddressed burnout and high stress in the workplace are leading causes of company turnover. Yeah.
Good work, guys.
Okay.
Brains.
Around 1 in 6 people experience mental health problems in the workplace.
I think it's more than that.
I'm going for more than that.
Wow. It is not. It is 1 in 6 people. 14.7%.
I feel like that's 1 in 6 people who say it out loud.
I was gonna say.
This is true.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that. It probably is more.
That's just disagreeing with the fact.
Yes,
Yes.
Never be trust.
A little bit.
No, you are right. I feel like it's more, but you're right.
Yeah.
All right, our next one, guys. You ready for this one?
Yeah. Try we must do better. Come on.
Younger generations don't care about print.
Younger generations don't care about print?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Period.
Okay, more.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, yes, thank you. We appreciate that. Because unfortunately, we get that a lot too.
We argue this one a lot too.
All the time.
Threatened by the people who's changed.
Okay.
Yes.
Nearly 10% of people in the US suffer from anxiety. Sorry about our overseas people here.
What was that quote? How much?
Nearly 10% of people in the US suffer from anxiety.
That's a lot of people as well.
Guys, I tricked you on this one. It's actually almost 20.
Oh, 20.
It's almost 20%.
20%.
Okay. I still think that's low.
Again, that's all recorded information.
Yeah, I think that's. I'm caveating it, but the British wouldn't know that.
Right. All right, guys. Personalized print increases response rates by up to 135%.
Oh, 135? I mean,
Chris is going false.
No.
I don't know, are those elephant ears? Like, what are you doing?
He's double.
Double? Okay.
Double.
My hands wrong, yes. It's true, yeah. Brains.
I'll go for it.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
It's true.
Brains. I think that's a crazy statistic, actually.
Well, Coca-Cola don't.
What?
Coca-Cola don't, do they? They get it.
It's because the reason it's so big now and why it's got to 135 is because now it's got to the level where it's expected. So you give your data up when you sign. Apple changed the world that we sign up on and just said, yeah, I'll sign my life away, because that's why they used to do it in the store, right? Because no one would buy an Apple phone, no one would sign up until they did it in the store and say, click OK, and they did it. So that got us all into just signing our life away and allowing our data to be free.
Yep.
So now everyone's got your data. At least you can do is actually use it and personalise to me, you lazy asses. And that's why people who personalise get the results.
There you
And then you
go.
put TikTok in the mix, and then you reach the right demographic quick.
The fact that ever since time began, if you think right back to the first ever personalisation was the cave paintings by Neanderthal man who painted the mammoth that they just killed. And then you go back to like the regal times in England where we have that long history, and they were putting on the cufflinks that are personalised. We used to have the handkerchief, kings and queens used to have handkerchiefs with their initials in. In fact, there was a rumour, this is true, for Henry VIII, the rumour was that the wife knew if she was going to get beheaded because the curtains were changed with the new wife's initials on the bottom of the curtains. And so personalisation of the new wife was up to let the old wife know she was out. And so it goes right back to there. So we're ingrained to not throw things away with our name on, which is why it works.
The new wife got to pick the new window dressing.
Yeah, curtains, definitely. Yeah. Oh yeah, they were fully in by then, full interior job. Yeah.
Perfect.
Love the history lesson.
That was great.
Well,
You learn something new every day.
Okay, this is the last question.
okay, we're in now. Come on, get it right. Boys.
Overexposure to screens, like blue light, later in the day can cause poor sleeping routines, which can lead to mental health problems.
Yes. All day long.
That's why I wear blue light glasses.
Yes, all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dang, you guys did. Maybe I'll put up a score later in post, but I'm pretty sure you guys did great.
I'm pretty sure we did too.
Hey,
Too.
we got the fact-based ones wrong, but for the right reasons.
That is true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all right. It's okay. We'll take that with a grain of salt.
I did try and trick you a little bit, so.
Okay, we'll let you off.
You couldn't make them too easy. Okay, well, thank you guys for having this conversation with us. We really do appreciate it. It is a very, very important topic,
Yes.
especially today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And thank you for answering our
guys.
questions as well. Really
Of
helpful.
course.
No, we appreciate the questions. That's the most fun for us.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work.
I'm Tara. I'm Mackenzie, and thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Talk More Print.